Having all the parts modelled, I can now create my assembly. Assembly, and I can insert my parts. I'll insert the handle first, and then I can insert each of the parts individually from there on. Now there's a new feature here where I can adjust or rotate my part within the assembly before I place it. So I can adjust the angle on the X, Y and the Z axis and rotate it there if I needed to before I place my part into the assembly. So you see it pops up here. Once I choose my part, I can adjust it on whatever axis to reorientate it. I will save my assembly. Adjustable wrench before I mate my components together. To start, I will mate my dowel into place, and it'll be coincident there with the top into the dowel. Next, I can mate my screw thread into place. Now I want this thread to turn on the dowel, so we won't mate it to prevent it turning, but I can add a coincident mate to put it into place there on the center. Next, I can mate the jaw into place. So I'm just going to slide concentrically like so, and this face here will have to slide along that internal edge there like so. Now I need to create a mate now that will allow this thread turn, which will in turn move my jaw up and down. Now the first thing I'm going to do here, and I'm going to use the rack and pinion mate in a few moments, but I need to set up a few things first of all. So I need to mate this internal surface here with the jaws of this, so I'm going to adjust this into place here where it will be in its open position like so. That would be it if it was open. So I'm going to choose this surface here with the inner surface of that guy. So that will be a tangential to it. So it'll thread along there, but we can see here it's a problem. This will run through that barrel there where it stops. So I'm going to choose the end point here of my screw thread, and it's going to run into the end barrel of the jaw like so. So that there is that is the limit at which it will open. So I need to measure that there to add a measurement on the limit which the jaw can open. So I'll accept that. I'll go to my evaluate tool, and I get measure, and I want to measure the distance between the jaws here, the distance between this line and this line. So I can see here the distance between those two lines there is 35.72 millimeters. So now I can suppress those two last mates. So 32.75. So I go here to my mates folder. I'll now click on this one. I'll suppress it so that's no longer in use, and I'll suppress this one. That one is no longer in use. So now I want to add a distance mate. So I go to assembly and mate once again. I'll select this surface, and I'll select this surface, and I'm going to go down here to advanced mates, and I'm going to add my distance. .72 is the outer limit of the adjustment, and the inner limit there will be 0, where it will close right up on itself. We'll accept that. So now it closes right up on itself, and it'll only open to 35.72, and that is the limit at which the screw thread can function. Lastly, we need to add the rack pinion mate. So that is in mechanical mates, and I can see it here. Now the first thing it's going to require here is the rack. Now the rack is this guy in this case. The pinion is going to be this guy here. It's going to require some other details down here. So rack will travel revolutions, the distance there of 5, and reverse. And we'll accept that. So now when I spin my thread around, the jaws will close. Not as easy to select them as you would think. So now the jaws will close right up. On my wrench. That is it completed. I can add a different background if I wish. And scenes there. And if I add in my Solidworks, so I add in my Solidworks 360, a new function here is the integrated preview. If I choose integrated preview, it will render within Solidworks now. So at the minute it is rendering it, and it's giving me a full preview there before I do my final render. So I can adjust it there, and it's doing an integrated preview within the Solidworks environment. So we'll give you a preview of what your photorealistic image would look like, and adjusting the angles etc. with the light will show you different views. From there then, once I get my background, I can change my background if I wish, from here, or from here, whichever backgrounds I want to use. I can go to my final render. Now in this case, we can see some aspects of the wrench are being left out. It's not rendering the full window within Solidworks. So I'll have to adjust that. Cancel on that. Yes, I'm sure onto the board. And I go to my options. I can see here my output image size is located there, so I can adjust the size of that if I wish. my image format, JPEG, my image quality. I can adjust what the preview will look like, my final render, so I can go all the way to maximum, better, best. I normally stick with better. They're some of the more useful ones, and accept that. And once again, I will do my final render. And once it's completed, I can save my image. My folder is saved to the desktop.